Okay, dude, remember when you predicted the Leafs would beat the Caps?
Vaguely.
Okay, good. By any chance, did you bet a lot of money on that game?
No, I didn't actually. That would have been smart. Why do you ask?
Dude, we could have used that money. You know how much repairs we got to do to the Leafs bandwagon after everyone jumped back on last night?
And then,
Yeah, please, dude.
what a great goal.
Dude, crazy throwing waffles. Who are you?
Optimus Prime.
Leafs win! And after the way the last few games have gone, that's probably good enough. But trust me, let me finish. Leafs win 7-1 over the Washington Capitals. And both teams, yes, both teams doing each other huge favors. Because the Capitals, not the Leafs for once, played the role of slump busters. And the Capitals, and not the Leafs for once, allowed some firsts. Fratton's first NHL goal and Franzen's first goal as a Leaf. And the favor the Leafs did the Caps, I know it's early in the season, but they can look at this game and go, holy crap, something is really wrong with our hockey club. Normally I wouldn't care, but this is starting to screw up my pool, man. I have Semin, and he's a left and right winger at the same time, so you can alternate him, but he's... And in my other pool I have Ovechkin, so just... Getting to the finer details, just $1.39 into the game, Tim Connolly, wow. Goes wind chimes off that one, off the bar and in for his second. Less than a minute later, the Caps through traffic put one on, and it beats Gustafsson. Give Brooks like his third. And Leafs Nation, give pause. Because I know a lot of you went, oh, here we go again. I did too. And even at the end of the game, a lot of people were like, oh, he stopped like over 40 shots, but that one he let in was brutal. Typical Gustafsson, you know, you never know what you're gonna get. I did too! But that is not the case in this situation. Puck deflected, took a weird bounce on him, and just fooled Gustafsson. And you can sometimes, but often when there's a deflection, it's hard to go at your goalie. Less than a minute left in the first. You want to see one of those first? Freshly called up from the Toronto Marlies, Joe Colburn feeds it over to Frat. Oh my, yes, more of that, always. Matt Fratton with his first career NHL goal, and Colburn with his first assist in his first game of the season. He's got 2 assists in 2 NHL games spread over 2 seasons so far. But now this Leafs team that has gone 6 games without scoring more than 2 goals has 2 in the first. Minute 18 into the second, Tyler Bozak makes it 3-1 for the Leafs, giving the Leafs their first 3 or more goal game since they played Columbus. And just over 5 minutes in, this highlighted the nighter. Check this out. Bozak had the primary assist on this one, but look at Loophole. Look at him, just shaking guy, and this is what you get for kicking me in the head, and this, Like the guy from that Marshawn Lynch YouTube video. So much determination, though. 4 points. Put the team on his back, though. And I said he got 4 points. That wasn't even his 4th point. His 4th point was this goal. His 10th of the season, making it 5-1. Phil Kessel first in NHL scoring with 27 points. Claude Giroux with 26. And then Thomas Vanek and Joffrey Lupul tie for 3rd with 24. And all this talk of, oh, we gotta get a #1 center for Kessel. Yeah, that'd be great to have a guy play there consistently, but apparently all they needed on that line was just a second scoring threat. Crazy stat I noticed, by the way, and this actually applies to Joffrey Lupul. Only 12 players in the NHL have 10 or more goals so far. 10 of them, that's 10 out of 12, are first-round picks. 9 of those 10 first-round picks were top 10. Kessel and Lupul are 2 of them. Bruins fans will be quick to point out that Tyler Seguin's another one. Can you leave us alone for 2 seconds? And being a first-round pick, being a top 10 pick, doesn't always mean you're going to kill it offensively, or if you're a defenseman, you're going to be a great defenseman. Sometimes it might take you a while. And a great sign of this is how long it took Joffrey Lupul to get to this point and how much determination it took to come back from all his injuries. And everyone freaking out about Nazem Kadri with that free Nazem or whatever it is hashtag on Twitter. Wait a sec, because you never know. Speaking of you never know, this 6-1 goal by Cody Franzen, wow, what a relief. Only his 6th game of the season, and he hadn't got a point in his last 4. And with Mike Komisarek out about 2 months, this is Franzen's opportunity. Sniped home a goal with that boomer of a shot that everyone was waiting to see, got an assist, and had his first plus game of the season with a +2. And by the way, to everyone freaking out, why aren't the Leafs playing Franzen? Why did they even bother trading for him? I think I have an answer. Now let me ask you something. If you're having all these emotions, you've probably been watching the Leafs or maybe even been a big fan for a long time, right? Okay, good. Question for you then. When was the last time the Leafs defense played this healthy this long? The Leafs defense has stayed so healthy so far this season that when the forwards started getting hurt, they're like, just take Gardner, it'll be fine, he can play wing. I know he used to be a forward, but still. And whatever it is, I guess the hockey force saw that no one had been hurt on the Leafs defense. And one of the forces on the force said, ooh, how about Komisarek? One of the other forces said, sure, but you better make it a good one. And yeah, he's out 8 weeks, and he's been having a good season so far too. But as that little kid doing the Herb Brooks impression said, great moments are born from great opportunities. And right now, Cody Franzen had the great opportunity. And the only thing that could rub salt in the wound a little more for Washington is if the Leafs scored a 7th goal and it was shorthanded and from a former cap. And look at this, here he is coming in.
I just had Stacks.
He scored short-handed goals. And it was against his former team in Washington.
Now that song's stuck in my head.
And I'm losing my mind.
But anyway, that caps off a Leafs 7-1 win. Few more stats I want to throw at you before we're done. Gustafsson, his first game back in a while, looked like he was down and out, stops 40 of 41 shots, and without a deflection, he might have stopped all 41. Which for me begs the question, when did the Caps get 41 shots? Couldn't have been that many high-quality chances, were there? I know Ovechkin had a good one, the Gustafsson stopped, that was good. But 41 shots, I had no idea until the end of the game. The Leafs scored 7 goals in this one. They had 8 in their previous 6 games. And they also hadn't scored more than 2 goals for those 6 games, and they scored 3.5 times that. Also, for the first time in 6 games, since the Leafs played the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Leafs allow less than 2 goals against. The Leafs hadn't scored 7 goals in a game since they beat Atlanta, who doesn't even exist anymore, 9-3 on January 7th. And even with 9 goals that game, the Leafs only had 6 different goal scorers. In this one, they had 7 on 7. And as James Myrtle pointed out on Twitter, Jonas Gustafsson now leads Leaf goalies with 5 wins. I don't know what's crazier, that stat or the fact that Gustafsson only needs 1 more win to tie his total from last season. And all I know is this, the Leafs have had a brutal go this last little while. But I would say generally speaking, the Leafs aren't supposed to beat the Caps. And with the Leafs heading out on the road with just 19 hours between games to take on the Hurricanes, I'd say generally speaking, you're not supposed to win that game either. If the Leafs get 1 point out of that game, that's great. And if they get 2, hey, they could just be right back on track. Looking up at the Leafs press box and seeing how many guys are hurt, if the Leafs go 500 for the next month, it's a blessing. And with the Hurricanes coming up so quick, that's it for this one. Add me to Facebook, Tumblr, Google+, Twitter, blah, blah, all that stuff in the underbar. Donate to my Movember team because I look really stupid and could use the donations. And if you want some highlights, bump. That's how I'm going to end every video from now on. Just bump.